We think we know it. That familiar face in our sky, we take it for granted. But what if the single most constant thing in all of our lives is also the greatest secret ever kept? It's a question that is, honestly, so simple, so fundamental, that we've all been taught not to even ask it. I mean, think about it. Every single evening, a star, the single largest object in our entire solar system, just vanishes. Poof, gone. The real question is, where does it go? Right, we call it sunset. Such a gentle, poetic word, isn't it? But that word hides what's really happening, the daily disappearance. This is a recurring celestial anomaly happening right above our heads every single day. An event so completely bizarre that we've all been, well, conditioned to think of it as normal. But is it? Just consider the time frame for a second. For up to 12 hours, sometimes even more, our primary source of life, the thing that keeps this planet alive, is just missing. A fiery star, 865,000 miles across, is completely unaccounted for. Gone, without a trace. Oh, of course, the mainstream scientific establishment, they have an answer. They always do. A nice, tidy little story they've been feeding us for centuries. But you have to ask yourself, is it really the truth? Or is it just what they want us to believe? So here's their story. They call it planetary rotation. The idea is that we are the ones moving, which creates the illusion of a sunset. But did you catch that? The key word there is illusion. This whole explanation completely sidesteps the physical reality of what's happening. It never, ever answers the fundamental question, where does the sun physically go? And you know what? It turns out, I'm not the only one asking these questions. Far from it. As theoretical skeptic Dr. Evelyn Reed says, a neat explanation. Perhaps too neat. It lacks imagination. And that right there raises the most important question of all. If the official story is just a cover, then what are the alternatives? Well, this brings us to our first major hypothesis. And it's a possibility that ancient observers might have understood far better than we do today. It's called the theory of the ocean slumber. Okay, just think about this for a moment. A star is a raging inferno, right? A nuclear furnace. And like any fire, it has to be managed, it needs to be controlled. So what if every single night the sun literally plunges itself into the vastness of our planet's oceans? What if it's cooling its nuclear fires, resting before it has to rise for the next day's journey? Proponents of this theory say the evidence is literally all around us if you just know where to look. You know that constant hissing sound you hear at the beach? They say that's the sound of a star's fire being extinguished. And this is why it has to be the Pacific Ocean. It's the only body of water on the planet big enough to cool a star. That steam you see rising from the water at dawn, that's the sun reigniting. And get this, the salty residue on coastal rocks, what if it's not salt at all? What if it's solar ash? As one of the leading crypto-hydrologists, Dr. Adrian Mayer claims, the ocean is not silent. It's speaking to us, telling us where the sun goes to rest. We just have to listen. I mean, that's a pretty compelling thought. But what if the answer isn't here on Earth at all? There is another hypothesis, one that suggests the real key to the sun's disappearance is the moon itself. So we're told the moon is just a natural satellite, right? A big lump of rock that happens to reflect sunlight. But what if that's just its cover story? What if it's not a rock, but a purpose-built, heat-resistant shield? And what if it's not a satellite, but an advanced celestial device designed for one reason and one reason only, to conceal the sun? Just listen to Dr. Celine Vance. She's a professor of what she calls forgotten celestial mechanics. She says, the geometry is too perfect. A disk of that exact size, in that exact position, it's not a coincidence. It's a design. The moon was built to hide the sun. Think about it. During a solar eclipse, it perfectly blocks our star. What if that's not some rare cosmic coincidence? What if that is its primary function? And it's happening every single night, just out of our line of sight. But then there's a third hypothesis. And frankly, this one is far more disturbing. What if the sun doesn't hide itself? What if it doesn't go to sleep? What if it's taken? Some investigators call it the harvest cycle. Here's how it works. Step 1. At dusk, some kind of unknown cosmic entity arrives. Step 2. The sun is physically removed from our sky and its incredible energy is harvested. Step 3. Just before dawn, it's put back, but it's slightly depleted. And this cycle repeats day after day after day. This would even explain a known scientific fact, why the sun will eventually burn out. Maybe it's not burning out on its own. Maybe it's being drained. We actually have a source deep within the astrophysics community who will only be identified as Observer X, and their warning is chilling. They say, quote, "We are witnessing the slow draining of our star. Every sunrise, it returns a little weaker. Something is feeding on our sun." So, where does all this leave us? We've explored possibilities that the mainstream, well, they refuse to even consider. And when you look at it all, you can't help but arrive at a profoundly unsettling conclusion. An ocean slumber, a cosmic shield, a daily solar heist. We have 3 theories and 3 absolutely terrifying possibilities for what's really going on when our sky goes dark. Because after all of this, after looking past the official story, we are left with one undeniable, unsettling truth. The daily disappearance of our sun remains the single greatest unsolved mystery in the known universe. Period. So tonight, when darkness starts to fall, I want you to go outside and look to the horizon. And remember, you are not just witnessing a pretty sunset. You are witnessing a disappearance. The greatest mystery in the entire universe is about to happen all over again, right in front of your eyes. And that leaves only one real question. What are they not telling us?